The U.S. Commerce has now expressed serious concerns about the impact of new H-1B visa fee increase on employees, their families and the employers. They say that they're working closely with the administration and members to understand the full implications and also find the best path forward. Remember, this again comes after U.S. President Donald Trump signed an executive order increasing the H-1B visa sponsorship fee to about $100,000, sparking widespread concern among tech companies and also foreign workers, especially coming from India. But the White House later clarified that the fee is just a one-time charge applied only to the new applicants, not an annual payment. In fact, existing visa holders outside the U.S. will not be affected when re-entering the country. White House spokesperson Caroline Leavitt also confirmed on social media that the current H-1B holders do not need to pay the new fee to return to the U.S. There's also a clause allowing fee exemptions if the application serves the national interest of the U.S. Now, White House spokesperson confirmed the news on social media, saying that the H-1B holders outside the U.S. do not need to pay the fee to return to the country. And this way, clarification came after initial confusion which was caused when the Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick suggested the fee could be an annual charge. Now, several companies including Amazon, JP Morgan, Microsoft, Goldman Sachs had since advised their H-1B visa employees to limit international travel for now, citing ongoing uncertainty on the situation. In fact, the move, according to the White House, aims to protect American jobs by reducing reliance on lower-paid foreign workers. Now, India has also reacted to the visa hike, with the government saying that it is closely studying the full implications of this measure, with the Indian industry already also putting out an initial analysis to clarify perception around the H-1B program. Officials here emphasized that the skilled talent mobility has played a key role in technology, innovation and also economic growth in both India and the US. In fact, India also warned that the move could have humanitarian consequences, disrupting families, and also urged US officials to address these impacts appropriately. In fact, the Indian Embassy in the US also issued an important advisory for Indian nationals in distress. Indian nationals seeking emergency assistance can now call or WhatsApp at the dedicated cell number that has been put by the embassy. Now, for thousands of Indian tech workers and US employers as well, the full impact of these rules may unfold over the coming weeks, especially during the next H-1B lottery round. Now, joining me on the broadcast is Ambassador Deepak Vora, former Indian diplomat. Thank you, Mr. Vora, for joining here on News9. Now, we have been discussing what are the rules, what are the clarification by the White House and how Indian government is reacting. But to you, I want to ask, how do you think, this drastic visa fee hike could impact India-US ties in short term and also in the long term?
Well, thank you very much. Always a pleasure to be with you. I'm not in the nation's capital. I'm in a lovely, lovely city called Udaipur, the land of Maharana Pratap. And they were talking about this last evening. First of all, ma'am, may I say that we live in times of global uncertainty. Uncertainty has a synonym. It's called Donald Trump. Yes. He's shaken up the world. There's no question about that. Now, what we would say, let me go back very quickly into the history of this thing. You might recall that you're too young. In the early 1990s, we had the dot-com phenomenon, and India was at the forefront. Everybody and his grandmother were setting up a digital services company. Then came the dot-com bust. Year 2000, when we had the Y2K bug, all the Western nations, Canada, United States included, pleaded with our techies mainly from Andhra Pradesh and from Karnataka to come and sort out the K2 bug. That was the last two digits, etc. That after 1999, what's going to happen when it becomes 2000. So that is the time that the world woke up to the fact that we have enormous talent in digital technology, in information technology. And in between, the government of India had also woken up and set up a ministry of ICT, information and communication technology, to facilitate this. Now, many of these people who have settled in the United States, who went there in person, they settled down, they raised their families there, they were largely responsible, and this is an accepted fact, ma'am. Even a lot of thinking Americans acknowledge that America's technological leadership in the world today was largely because of the efforts of these people. Microsoft, and you know all the names, the big names, Indian names who headed these companies. There
Right.
was whatever the name of the Google, etc., etc. So what he has done, I see three lessons in this very quickly. I'll tell you. Number one is that we have to really depend on ourselves. We can't be in a position where we are so dependent on one country. The president says no more H-1B or it'll cost so much, and suddenly there's panic in India. That we'll have to find a solution, which basically means that we'll do what is called work from anywhere. Second is that the constant changes that are being made, there seems to be a lack of cohesion within the Trump administration. That fellow, Sputnik or whatever his name is, the Commerce Secretary, says funny things that he doesn't know
Yes,
what it
Harvard
is that the White
Latnick.
House. That's right. I'm old, ma'am. I forget names. And then the White House issues some kind of a clarification. No, no, this is not applicable, etc. And the third, perhaps the most important thing is that people in the United States are beginning to wonder what is wrong with this man. Why does he want to isolate the United States? He's losing credibility very fast. These, I think, are the three takeaways, if you want, or the three fallouts of what he has done. In India, the families, of course, will be hurt because they make a lot of money. The people who go there, they are very highly paid, etc. But it's going to sort out. He will realize very quickly, the president and his cabinet and the people around him, his advisors, that you can't at one shot get rid of these people. Your technological leadership will go. And the country, the people who are salivating over this prospect is China, who wish to challenge America for technological leadership. They would be delighted that this man is doing funny things to his own country. So I think he's going to, they're going to ease up on this. Already they've eased up, not for existing people, only for new things. Some revenue will be generated, which the employers will probably pay. I would be concerned, but I would not panic.
Right, Ambassador. I agree with you. This is how Trump administration actually works. They start at 100, goes on to 75, and then somewhere settles around 50. It has been the case with tariffs as well. But I want to understand, you mentioned about the unpredictability, and then you said that India needs to look inward. And Prime Minister Modi also mentioned that our biggest enemy right now is the dependence that we have on other countries. So on that aspect, I'd like you to, elaborate on something. What can we do? How can we turn this into an opportunity,
That's a brilliant question. How do we convert the crisis into an opportunity? You're outstanding, young lady. Absolutely. Now, what happens is, ma'am, we are already, I'm talking to you from a distance. I'm talking to you via a software that was invented in the United States. Everybody uses it. And by the way, when this Zoom business was created, a very large number of Indian technology experts were working to create this thing and made all the
Okay.
improvements earlier. In the earlier years, we had Zoom bombing and all that. You recall that? But that we were able to sort it out. Europe was
Yes.
attacked yesterday. Many countries, I think Britain,
Yes.
Germany, Belgium,
Cyber
etc.
attacks,
were
yes.
yeah, and then they got hold of an Indian company, so I was told to sort it out. So India's talent in IT is acknowledged everywhere. What the Prime Minister says is that let's see, why should our people have to go there physically? Why can't we create an ecosystem within the country that they're able to work from here? That, I believe, is the essence of Atmanirbhar. Atmanirbhar is all about not just autarky, that we don't want to do anything with the world. It's just that we have enough opportunities within our own country that we should not be dependent on anybody else to create havoc in our system. I think it's a very wise statement, a very measured, balanced statement. We haven't come out and criticized the Trump administration. We are studying the implication. We hope it will be resolved. It will be resolved. Take my word for it, man.
All right, Ambassador, last question to you. Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal is expected to visit the US for trade talks. Do you think this visa hike will have any implications on those
No.
negotiations?
No, trade is separate from, we compartmentalize.
Yeah.
And if he has deported some people or refused visas, that won't have an impact on trade talks.
Okay.
That's people to people relationship. Trade is dhanda. And the two big dhandewalas, if I may say so, the Baron of Business, Donald Trump, and the Nawab of Negotiation, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, are interacting. We'll have a decision. We'll have an agreement. There is no question about it. The United States needs India, period.